Hi Libra, welcome to your April 2024 Astro Tarot Scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's for your ascendant. It's going to be that much more accurate. Remember, I am using whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know, and also remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. Always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So the first transit that I would like to explore for you is Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Aries, right? This for you, so Aries for you occupies your 7th house of partnerships, marriages, contracts, commitments, significant connections with people, your closest one-to-one connections as well. But remember, your 7th house is also your relationship with your astrologer, with your tarot reader, with your doctor, right? Anywhere that you have a solid sort of one-to-one connection with someone, you will find a 7th house matter or energy. Now, that being said, this can bring old partners because it's a retrograde, right? It's bringing energy or people back to or into your life in some regard, or it can bring messages from people that you've once been connected to. This could be old partners, old collaborators, even old competitors could come back into the fold once more. No guarantees, but you know, Mercury for you rules your 9th house and your 12th house, right? So it's possible that this is enhanced in one way, that it might be with people that you studied with or collaborated with, or even people who you were tied to in a spiritual or a religious context in some regard. If you've got siblings, it's also possible that a shared or collective realization that you had, or even like a shared trauma of some sort, could come up for healing at this time. The 12th house is indicated because Virgo is your 12th, or occupies your 12th house. Do pay attention to your dreams, to visions that come up, to daydreams as well that you have at this time, because they could lead to some realizations about bad habits or patterns that you have when it comes to relationships. Where it is that you overgive, where is it that you overextend, where is it that you put up with really bad treatment, right? All of these things, like, you could get some really powerful insights now as to, you know, how to correct this. Now, for you just can't make it up, right? Look, you've got the Lovers card with the Knight of Swords, okay, and the Five of Wands. Look, I'm just going to be really honest with you. There is a potential here for some crossed wires, right? The Lovers card, love, relationship, partnership. The Knight of Swords, hard or frustrating or even harsh, aggressive communication with the Five of Wands. First thing that I want to say to you is, maybe one of the bad habits that you have is letting too many people get involved in your relationships, whether those are personal, professional, platonic or familial. Maybe that's one of the issues, right? You're doing things by committee when really it should be a one-to-one kind of experience. Another way that this could show up as well is if you're single, there might be options on the table. And I got to be honest with you, with these cards, you might this might be where one of the realizations that you have is like, you know what? I actually don't like any of the options that I have. I don't want to be with any of them. The old me, the old version of me, would have latched on to be with someone just for the sake of being with someone, but actually I don't like any of these options that I have on the table, and that's okay too, right? There is space for everything. If there's one thing that I have learned in my 39 years, and you know, through some of the courses that I've taken personally as well, one of the greatest things that I ever learned was that there is space for everything within you, and there is space for everything in the world, right? So all of this is okay. Now on the so that's on the 2nd of the month. Now, if I ever don't mention the degrees or the, you know, all of that kind of stuff, you'll find that in the description box below. So you'll be able to, you know, if I forget the dates and the transit or whatever and I don't say it, you'll be able to find it in the description. On the 8th of the month, we've got the new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. Where are you, Luna? All right, so the sun conjunct the moon, and obviously with the north node as a part of this, you've got there, right? And so this is also in your 7th house. So we see your relationship sector being lit up, but this time it's with an eclipse energy. This is a potent moment for relationships because it's helping you get even more, a more even footing in relationships over time, right? Remember, eclipses unpack over like 3 to 6 months. Right now, it's likely to be a little intense, right? But this is the sun's most exalted degree. It's conjunct Chiron. So this is a strong eclipse in your 7th house. There is a mending of a wound here around relationships. There's a realization of where maybe you've given too much in relationships, especially friendships, right? Because Leo rules the sun. Cancer rules your career. The sun rules Leo, which occupies your 11th house of friendships, group associations, group ties, your higher aspirations, goals, visions, and dreams for the future. And the moon ruling your career, right? The most public version of you, how you interact with your relationships, who you're tied to on that commitment kind of level, could all be coming up for a big shift here. Now, there is a feeling that you see where things are not reciprocated, but it's also like you see what tempers all of that. It's a fresh start with a new moon solar eclipse, right? But on a grand scale because the node is involved. So there's a fated feel to this, but something about what started is not 100% clear yet. Let it unfold, right? Finally, the sun rules your friendships and group ties, and with that moon ruling the career, it's likely that the fresh start sees you come into contact with people that can help you, but also will demand the best from you, right? So it's like you've really got to show up for whatever opportunities there are. These could be literal career level connections, communications, interactions of some kind. For this, you've got the Knight of Wands, so there's a thirst to prove yourself with this. You've got this with the Judgment card. You've got this with the King of Pentacles. So there's an interaction here with a person who is on your path in a really big, powerful, profound way. So the King of Pentacles is usually a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. With the Judgment card very close to them, there's a few ways that this could show up. This could be some kind of connection to the paternal lineage of your history and your family. That might be a really big moment of realization to do with those things where you are eager to get your point across or to break away from the yoke of that part of your family. On the other side of this could be someone from your deep past, right? This could be somebody that you once connected with or interacted with that now becomes quite a prominent figure for you over the next 3 to 6 months, or is at least instrumental in you healing and mending some wound around relationships in general, right? So it's a powerful, powerful eclipse for you. And because it's in what we call an angular house, right? It's in the 7th house. It'll have that much more weight. Now, on the 18th of the month, Jupiter and Uranus are coming into a conjunction. They've been flirting with each other for the last 11 months, right? They're finally getting it together, as we say. This is happening in your 8th house of transformation, other people's money, big money, and your relationship to finances and your connections on a financial level, right? Where your joint resources show up. It's also the space of your deep psychological makeup and the connection that you have to the occult and all forms of divination. This could be a fantastic time for you to get a personal reading. Whether this is with me or somebody else is irrelevant. I don't care, just as long as you do this for yourself around this time, because the insight could be incredible and it could be very impactful for your life moving forward. As this is the house of death, it's also possible that there could be an ending around your local living situation in some regard. Remember, Jupiter for you rules Sagittarius, which is your 3rd house, which is your local environment, and it also rules Pisces, which is your 6th house, which is your daily grind. So how you spend time where you are at this moment in time could be shifting in some regard. I'm seeing this more as the breaking of the chains that have held you back in the pursuit of wealth and unfolding of the power of regeneration when it comes to your mind. You're able to really transcend something with this. I see this transit as overly positive. Remember, it's a once in 14 year transit. So it's once in 14 years that Jupiter and Uranus come together. And unless you're born on this day, you're probably never likely to see this happen again in the sign of Taurus in your lifetime. So it's a very big deal. Jupiter is blessings and opportunity and healing, and Uranus is the great change bringer, the ruler of your fifth house, which is also a very lucky space in the chart, right? So there's new partnerships around money, play the lottery, right? Apply for the mortgage. Remember that Mercury is retrograde at this time, so maybe finish applications to financial institutions. If you've got financial commitments and stuff that you've put on hold because it's like, oh, there's a Mercury retrograde is actually a really great time to finish things. And because this transit I see as overwhelmingly positive, I think this is a really good time to sort of do that kind of thing. Place an online bet. Please don't, put your house, wife, car, keys and etc. on the friggin' roulette table. Don't be stupid about it. But this is a time to play the lottery because the fifth house is implicated through the Uranus energy. Put an online bet on a horse, right? Put $50 on your favorite team winning the ... All of that kind of stuff is highly favored. Remember, Mercury is retrograde, so something brand new, unless you were born under a Mercury retrograde, something brand new is probably not the best way to move forward just yet. Set the intention on this day, and then when everything is direct, then you go after it in the real world. For this, you've got the Two of Cups. Again, another partnership or connection is potentially coming to an end. So with the Devil card, do you know what? I actually like this. Where you've had a toxic relationship with somebody, where you've had a financially toxic relationship with somebody, or where you've had a connection with somebody that you keep because you feel like you owe them something, right? Or they keep you around because they feel like you owe them something. This could be where it comes to a close or comes to an end. Remember, Uranus it's breaking. I don't know if you ever remember that gospel song, put the shackles on my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. That song, do you remember that? This is a perfect representation of what I see this transit doing. There's going to be some kind of breaking away from a financially or debt-laden sort of relationship or connection of some sort, and this will be very freeing for you. These cards are heavy, but this transit is it's gonna pack a wallop. Like those things where they break the concrete and it's like, it's like one of those, right? Whatever this partnership is, I think these two are going to smash right through that, right? And it will bring opportunities for much better suited things and connections to come into your life. And then finally, Luna will be here in your third house. Venus will be here, and Mars and Neptune will be here. So Luna will be at 28 degrees. This is a short transit. I don't usually do lunar transits to stuff, but this one felt like it needed to be mentioned. You've got Luna at 28, Mars and Neptune coming into a conjunction at 28 degrees of Pisces, and then on top of that you've got Venus at 28 degrees of Aries. This is a big deal because the 28th degree in astrology is a very Cancerian energy, which means something about your career could be very potent at this time. Now, the houses that are implicated through this, though, are your third house and your, Mars for you rules your second house of money, finances and resources, and it also rules your seventh house of relationships, right? So again, some kind of financial implication going on here. And then Neptune rules your sixth house, right, which is your physical health and vitality. Your own physical health and vitality might come to the fore at this moment in time. You might feel it as like a fever of some sort. Remember, Mars Neptune it's a hot sort of, I will die for my belief here, right? This is like the spiritual warrior. This could be a time where you find yourself having a battle in the workplace, which is also possible, especially in one of those instances where it's like, you know what, usually Libra would look for, what's balanced, what's fair, whatever. So if you are prepared to fight for something, I feel sorry for the other party because they're not going to expect it from you. There's a lot of Cancerian energy in the air, so this may very well have a lot to do with your work, especially because it's in the 6th house of your daily grind as well. And in that square to the moon in Sagittarius, it's like it brings your attention and your mind into focus around matters of your, yes, around your beliefs, but more importantly, around your relationships and your financial implications of those things. I don't know, there's just a lot going on with your money this month, I think. You've got the 5 of Swords, so you are really willing to have this argument. And I've told you before, the air signs, do not get in their way, because when they go in to read you, the air signs will literally just straight up spit them facts, right? So it's like if you're cross-watching and you're worried about a Libra, or you're about to get into it with a Libra, step back, listen to what they have to say before they go off on one, right? Because they're not backing down. Like Libra, you are not having it. And you've got this with the Empress card. I love this because the Empress is number 3. 3 of Pentacles as well. 2 3s represents a calming influence. So it's like, yes, you're willing to have the fight, but I actually feel like if you just deal with the facts the way that you do, this might actually lead to the dialogue being open that you need. And to be honest with you, that 5 of Swords suggests that this might be a time where you do have to throw some fucks around. All right? Like, we had... I know everyone's like, oh, okay. Right? This is it's not like everyone always says to me, like, and I get this a lot in the comments where they're like, oh, do we really need all of the vulgar language? And it's like, I am a potty mouth. You will get what you get, right? I will never be one of these people that's out here trying to lie to you or whatever. Like, what you see is what you get most of the time with me. I will tone it down, if I'm talking to a grandparent or, I'm in front of certain people, then yes. But outside of that, I've got a potty mouth. Deal with it. There are times where you need to throw some fucks around to let people know that they're overstepping a mark or a boundary. This is one of those times. And if you want the Venusian element of this, remember Venus is you. If you want people to respect you in your field, if you want people to... you are going to have to pull rank around this time, right? It's how you kind of set things into motion. With that said, let's get into your lunations. All right. For your... where is it? For your lunations, so I've already shuffled those. Or the new moon solar eclipse, let's have a look at this, right? So we've already explored this sort of in terms of its astrology, but for this you've got the gate 30 and holding, and the message behind this card is literally about holding on to what you believe, right? The eclipse is really trying to show you that what you fundamentally know and believe about relationships is correct, but some of your stuff needs to be ironed out. Remember, the eagle is a bird of truth, and so this is really allowing the eclipse is going to show you how to find the truth of your relationships and your relationship style, and what about that either needs to be evolved or to be shifted in some regard. And none of us is perfect, right? We all have stuff that we need to work on over and through. Honey, I could tell you, Rafi got some stuff, okay? I'm just going to tell you straight up. And this is what I say to people. If you've been with me long enough, you kind of know how I am by now. It's not like I know how to do airs and graces. When I say there's no airs and graces with me, what I mean is I am fully aware that I have so much work to do on myself, that I have so many things to, I'm just human like everybody else. This stuff, I'd say I'm kind of good at, right? But I can assure you, I still have life lessons. I still got things that I have to work through. There are things that I need to perfect about myself or refine about myself. I get all of that, right? So whenever I say this stuff, it's never me kind of like, pointing down to you. It's always like right here, right? I got my stuff too. Anyway, I digress. For your full moon on the 23rd of the month, this is happening in the sign of Scorpio in your money house. So again, this whole month has a decidedly financial element to it, right? There's a lot going on with your money, your finances, and your resources this month. And a full moon in the Scorpio sector This could be a financial consideration or even secret that comes to light at this time, and it will see you looking at, okay, how do I navigate forward from here? Either which way, I actually think this can be a very good thing for you. It will be interesting to see how this interacts, because obviously in the background of this, you've still got that Jupiter sort of Uranus conjunction, but it will be separating at this time. And for this, you've got the gate 12 and caution. Watch out for any financial commitments, etc., that you get into at this time. It's more of a time to allow things to come to light and be alert as to what is revealed at this time, and let the rest sort of unfold. With that said, if you would like to get your personal Astro Tarot reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Before we start, before I let you go, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.